What's up, Narrative Breakers? We got a wild story for you today. Jay-Z has been caught on audio tape allegedly impersonating Texas state officials. This is coming from attorney Tony Busby. He is now taking legal action and suing Rock Nation and Jay-Z because they claim they're doing witness tampering and actually impersonating Texas state officials. This is the wildest claim about Jay-Z out of this whole Diddy situation. And to me, I say it's the death of hip-hop, and we're witnessing it right here.
Attorney for Jay-Z says that the sexual assault claim against the hip-hop mogul is false. A woman has accused Jay-Z of raping her at an after-party for the 2000 MTV Video Music Awards when she was 13. CNN's Elizabeth Wagmeister has the story.
Jay-Z's attorney is doubling down on a denial that his client ever raped a 13-year-old girl. Now, Jay-Z has already fiercely denied these accusations, and his legal team has already asked the court to dismiss this case entirely.
Now, before I let them go ahead and continue, and if you guys don't know, I mean, this is my second time shooting this. The first time it just completely crashed, broke my heart. I filmed the whole 20, 30 minutes of this BS. Let's get into it. Jay-Z, he is now being accused of witness tampering. Now, I know you're looking for the footage of that specifically. Tony Busby didn't drop it, but as you can see in the very beginning of the intro, I did drop his statement for it. Now, the content here is going to break down this whole story and how it's going to lead to the fall of hip-hop. Tony Busby is being accused by Jay-Z of being a 1-800 lawyer, of being a fraud. And the thing that's funny about it, Jay-Z is trying to start the narrative. And obviously Jay-Z has learned from liberal media because they're starting a narrative to destroy the character of Tony Busby. They're making it seem like he's some former has-been that's looking for an opportunity to get his name out there in the lights. But that couldn't be further from the truth. He is one of the most respected lawyers, and even being assigned by the Attorney General in Texas, he has an extensive history and extremely wealthy. We have the receipts on all that. Of course, that's why you're watching this. You know we're going to have the receipts for you. That's neither here nor there. What we're going to focus on is, why is Jay-Z trying to destroy his character? What's the legal binding behind Tony Busby dropping this lawsuit on Jay-Z today? And where is it going to head? Will this actually lead to something bad for Jay-Z?
But now, for the first time speaking to reporters since these accusations came out, Jay-Z's attorney, Alex Spiro, held a press conference of sorts. There was a private meeting at Jay-Z's Rock Nation offices in New York City where CNN was invited to watch a presentation put on by Jay-Z's attorney, where he had a PowerPoint where he showed different details that he says disprove Jane Doe's case. Let's take a look at some of what he said.
This is not an account of inconsistencies. I wanted everybody to understand that this never happened. This is completely false. You have to look at the timeline. You have to look at the timeline. So there's an old expression that time doesn't lie. Everything else that I'm talking about, these glaring inconsistencies, these are not minor inconsistencies. These are not minor problems with this story. This is utter falsehoods. Time never lies. And so if you look at the time, no matter what, this couldn't have happened. It's not even possible that this happened.
Now, as you heard there, Jay-Z's attorney saying that these aren't just inconsistencies in Jane Doe's case. He's saying that the entire thing is false. In fact, he says it's not even possible that Jay-Z was there.
Now, we have some more information on how that just cannot be also further from the truth. Jay-Z and Diddy, they didn't have to be best friends to be associates. There's video camera footage of them saying, "I love you, brother, love you, man," hosting brunches together and doing parties together. There's at least 3 parties in films on camera where Jay-Z and Diddy confess their love for each other. To make it seem as if this is such a far-fetched situation, as if we're trying to claim that Jay-Z and Prince Edwards was in the same room together doing nefarious acts. That's a little bit more far-fetched, but I don't think Jay-Z and Diddy is far-fetched. I don't think anyone that's watching this thinks this is far-fetched as media wants it to be. But this is how they do it. They will defend their villains while slandering the heroes.
Now, if we go back to Jane Doe's initial complaint, she alleges that she was raped by both Jay-Z and Sean Diddy Combs at an after party for the MTV Video Music Awards in the year 2000. Now, this after party, she said, was held at a White House that was outside of the city. Well, Jay-Z's attorney actually showed photos of Jay-Z that night at an after party, but it was in New York City. So he says, if you look at the timeline, it's not possible that Jay-Z was in the suburbs at this alleged after party because he was photographed being somewhere else. Now, in her initial complaint, Jane Doe also said that she got to this alleged after party by getting into a limo from a driver outside of the MTV VMAs who said that they worked for Sean Combs. Well, today, Jay-Z's attorney is saying that's not possible because the limousine line was barricaded by the police and fans were not able to access it. Now, I reached out to Jane Doe's attorney. His name is Tony Busby. He says that he is representing over 120 accusers of Sean Diddy Combs. This is the first.
And we're about to go into Tony Busby and why he isn't a 1-800 lawyer and why Jay-Z is deflecting from this. And he wouldn't be deflecting if he isn't worried about losing his precious money. We got to understand Jay-Z is a snake. This is the same individual that got black men to get together that were kneeling with the BLM thing, told them to get off their knees, and said that it was time for them to move beyond that. The weird thing is, when Jay-Z told everyone it was time to move beyond the kneeling, he waited until he had the position to get with the NFL, sit down with them, and become this huge ambassador to get to decide what we listen to for the Super Bowl. Did you know with that deal, the stipulation is only Jay-Z was signing on it? All those same people that were about to partner with the NFL after them, when the NFL was about to bend the knee and say we need more urban representation, they were going to have a plethora of different black men to help the culture of the NFL. Jay-Z swooped right in and took that for himself and made sure everyone else starved, and that is his motto. And the intimidation tactics that they're claiming that he's playing on these victims, well, Tory Lanez father was claiming the same thing was happening. Tory Lanez was claiming the same thing of Jay-Z, who's also another rapper who's currently serving, 10, 20 years in prison for Megan Thee Stallion, who is a Jay-Z Rock Nation artist. That whole story itself is a rabbit hole. I won't break that down. But it's allegedly has a lot of witness tampering in there, too. I think what could happen with Jay-Z, like I said, would be the real fall of hip-hop, not with Diddy, because Jay-Z is someone that's actively in hip-hop. It's one thing about having a legend that fall, but it's another thing about having a current icon fall, because he is still attached to people's money. It's all about the money. Jay-Z still brings in people money, and he still blocks people money. So if him being taken out the picture happens, it's massive. Now, Diddy, of course, you got the blackmail tapes and the parties and whatnot. And you got just the overall connections of the middlemaning. But we talking about someone that has a grasp on the music business, and Jay-Z holds a very, very special place in the music business. He is the most dominant black person in music. I don't think that's over-exaggerating to say that. So if you take out one of the most dominant forces in anything, you can expect to see change. And he will fight tooth and nail to hold on to that.
Accuser to come forward and name Jay-Z, but he tells me that he stands by his client. He says that they are still vetting her. But when I asked about the vetting process, here's what he told me. He said that 4 individuals at his firm interviewed the client and checked details. He says that a background check was run on Jane Doe and that his firm actually engaged a seasoned investigator to vet some details she disclosed to us. And he said, quote, those results were consistent with what the client had told us. He also says that she has signed 2 separate affidavits, and he tells me, quote, courts exist to resolve factual disputes. Our client remains adamant about her claim. Back to you.
All right, thanks to Elizabeth there.
Yeah, I don't know what Sean Carter's doing here. It makes no sense to me. Sean Carter, i.e. Jay-Z, gets named now as the main defendant in a rape case out of New York by trial attorney Tony Busby. We're seeing Sean Carter come out now and defend himself online, putting out statements The thing that pops up is not immediately innocence and guilt. It's how did it get this far? Carter starts attacking Tony Busby, saying, hey, he sent me a demand letter and he's trying to extort me. Well, newsflash, and Jay-Z's people know this, that every lawsuit starts with a demand letter. Everybody gets put on notice that they have a claim and gives them an opportunity to resolve. Now, if you believe in your innocence, that's fine. But here, what does innocence have to do with this? He has too much exposure going forward. These are heinous allegations. He even says it himself. Now you're getting tied to Sean Combs, who's,
And in case you guys don't know, this is a lawyer that's breaking down this whole situation with Jay-Z. Very, very interesting stuff. And it's just showing how Jay-Z's response was so aggressive and why he responded aggressively as he did.
indicted and standing trial for racketeering and extortion cases, just horrific stuff. RICO violations. And now Carter's brand is being brought into this, is being alleged that he raped a 13-year-old. I hear you. I understand the defenses if you're Sean Carter. Hey, 24 years ago, you have an anonymous source, an anonymous victim. It looks like it's just a shakedown by an ambulance attorney. Well, look at it on the other side. Do you really think Tony Busby, who's a powerhouse trial attorney out of Houston, Texas, who's taken down monster verdicts and literally just got appointed by the Attorney General to take on investment firms on behalf of Texas, moves forward on a lawsuit?
And all of this is true. Tony Busby is really a respected individual. And the thing is, like I said, Jay-Z is just like mainstream media. Their goal is to destroy the character of anyone that comes after them. Because if they can assassinate the character, they can destroy anything that comes out of that said character's mouth. And that's Jay-Z. You can tell that he's learned from mainstream media, and he's learned how to play the game very well. Although he learned the game, it doesn't mean that that works in 2024. Unfortunately for Jay-Z, we are actually in an era, 2024 specifically, the year where that just doesn't work like it used to. It doesn't hit like it used to, So he's in some big trouble. He's in some big trouble. That whole character assassination, it means nothing. People are at the point now where they want to see the paperwork. They want to see the proof. Are you what they claim you are? And with Jay-Z, that's what we're here to find out. That's what we're here to find out.
If it's a bluff, it just doesn't make sense to me. You got to believe that Busby would say, hey, look, I'm not going to allow this case to come down to a he said, she said. Busby knows that the anonymous victim is going to have to be disclosed. They know this anonymous victim is going to have to take depositions. So there has to be more evidence. A bluff would be, hey, I sent you a demand letter saying that we believe you caused these injuries to my client. We're asking for this much money. You say no, and nothing happens. Busby didn't do that. He called his bluff and he took it public. And in fact, he went as far as to say, you know what, we're amending the complaint where we had you as celebrity A that was watching the rape, but now we have enough evidence and believe you were the one who actually committed the rape. Now, John Carter's team will attack that and they're going to say, you didn't even know what you were doing. But my point is, this can't be a bluff. And my point is,
And it's not. And that's the thing. So if Jay-Z is trying to make it seem as if this lawyer was desperate, ain't no desperate lawyer about to go back and counter and then sue you. Like, he is so serious about this that he is suing Jay-Z and accusing this man of tampering with witnesses. And what make it even more interesting, Busby, Houston, I believe, local, over there in Texas, he's accusing Jay-Z of messing with the witnesses, with the officials, state officials in Texas, to mess with his firm. So it's became personal because Jay-Z is trying to affect the career of Tony Busby. And something else is crazy that it shows that Jay-Z tried to make it seem like it's some special situation where the law firm had mailed him an update, a notice for him to respond. Negro, everyone gets this. It's either that Jay-Z was trying to play victim or Jay-Z has become so freaking rich and disconnected from reality that he forgets that we get a notice for us to have the ability to respond to a lawsuit after we get one. What we seeing right now, I don't know what Cat Williams knew, but we are witnessing the actual fall of hip-hop. And we've seen how it started to transition from focusing on men to young women because all of the budgets went to the women because men are becoming more conservative. Listen, they don't even have the fans that they used to no more. They can't even maintain the sales that they used to. Hip-hop for the first time is in a decline. It was once the number one genre in the world just about 4 or 5 years ago, and it felt like it was going to stay that way for the next 20. Oh, how the times have changed. And I believe they're ready to cleanse out the old and bring in the new. They say, okay, everyone that was doing this before, you Jay-Z's, Jimmy Iovine's, Diddy's, all you old heads, we getting you out. Lock them niggas up. Let's cleanse up our money. Let's free up our assets. And let's build back this empire. It's business. And I think Jay-Z done stepped a little bit too far in the wrong bed.
Don't understand what Jay-Z is doing coming out in the public. He's putting out these statements that Busby's going to use against him. Literally, Carter is saying he represents the heinous nature, he understands it, and that it rises to the level that it's so bad because it's rape that it should be a criminal prosecution. I could think of nothing better as a trial attorney to use those words against a defendant in a deposition. Remember, you're in the civil context. Busby's going to be able to depose everybody. He's going to be able to get to Combs. He's going to be able to get to Carter. He's going to be able to get to witnesses. They're talking about limousine drivers. Now, yes, there may be a victim issue, but at the end of the day, everybody says, hey, this was 24 years ago. Yeah, let me know how that turned out for Bill Cosby. At the end of the day, I don't understand why Carter's people are letting him get out there and plead this innocence. I get it from a position that you want to get out in front of the jury, you want to claim your innocence. I just think that they're messing with the wrong tactic by trying to attack the trial lawyer, because this is not a shakedown of Vontae's situation. This is a real heavyweight lawyer that knows what he's doing, and Sean Carter better be real careful.
Position, mights, maybes, could have been. That's what we've seen in this trial. The very first witness they brought to you crumbled under oath. Do you remember? Do you remember Jeff Mateer? Crumbled under oath. So what is this case?
And for those that don't know, this is Tony Busby right here, leaving some closing arguments for Kenneth Paxson Jr. up there in Texas. And this is before, of course, the Jay-Z situation. This was, I believe, 2022 or 23. It could have been about the start of 23 or 22, one of those two. But it just shows that Paxson is a respected individual, as said before. Not a 1-800 lawyer. Not at all. And you'll see after this video why he's far from broke.
It's about nothing. They failed to gather all the evidence. They failed to review their own evidence. They failed to talk to all the witnesses. Think about this. When the House Board of Managers brought this case, they made an assumption. They assumed that this man would run and hide. They assumed that Attorney General Ken Paxson would resign. Well, guess what? He did not resign. He is proud and is ready to go back to work. And after this is over, I expect he will go back to work.
In his office on the 73rd floor of Chase Tower,
we can see the entire city.
Tony Busby has sharks everywhere. Shark door handles, a sculpture, and not just any shark, the great white.
Now we're the biggest and we're the baddest and we're just floating around looking for something to eat.
Typical Busby. Talks big, lives big.
1, 2, 3 into the 4. Snoop Doggy Dogg and Dr. Dre is at the door.
A man who throws multi-million-dollar holiday parties with entertainers like Snoop Dogg. Collects exotic cars and expensive art.
Look how beautiful that is.
It's gorgeous.
This one's like $3 million.
A lifestyle paid for by his tenacity in the courtroom.
Somebody described me once as a bulldozer with a flamethrower.
So someone find me this individual that is a 1-800 lawyer. I know I keep saying that, but it's just hilarious because this is the type of people that they try to assassinate the character of. They hope that you don't find these archives. They hope that you don't find this footage that could destroy their narrative. This is no different in politics, and I'm so glad, not as a hater that is happening to Jay-Z, but I'm so glad that Jay-Z has hopped into this world. Why? Because Jay-Z has stood beside Hillary Clinton. He has stood beside Barack Obama. He has stood beside Joe Biden and I'm sorry, you guys already know Kamala. Did you guys see that? How fast Kamala became irrelevant that I forgot her freaking name? That shows she never had a chance to win. But that's neither here nor there. It's time for Jay-Z to fight against some people that like to play the politics game too. Because he's not a stranger to politics. He's now hopping into the world of politics. And I'm telling you, in the world of politics and lawyers, they go hand in hand. Journalism, politics, law, it goes hand in hand. You're in our world now. This ain't about no hip hop where you can take advantage over some ignorant niggas. Nah. The niggas here are smart, and they gonna get you. And I'm so glad because I can't stand when niggas on that gangster think they can just bully and do whatever they want, bro. I was an ignorant young nigga once, but you gotta get humbled by the intelligent, strong men with a good head on their shoulders because that's the balance of things. You got to put these young bucks in their place, and he's about to do that to Hov.
I thought that was fairly accurate.
What do we call this, the Wall of Fame? On his wall, articles on court victories and high-dollar settlements against big oil companies. He often represents families of workers who've been killed or maimed on the job.
I don't get paid to be nice. I don't get paid. I'm not your counselor. I'm the guy that goes out and kicks ass for you and gets you checks like that.
Not bad for a scrawny kid from a tiny Texas town whose dad was a butcher and his mom a school cafeteria worker. After graduating from Texas A&M, he joined the Marines. It's all he ever wanted to be, he said. Then a fellow Marine suggested he take the law school admission test. He did.
And this is the individual that's supposed to be, can someone finish it for me? 1-800-LAWYER.
And it changed the course of his life.
How much money did you make on your first big win?
About 8.
Also, for my 1-800-LAWYERs, can someone tell me if that's supposed to be a bad thing? I thought all of them are pretty rich.
18.6 million. I bought a Mercedes and I thought I was the king of the world.
Now he has a rotating stable of expensive wheels. Ferrari, Lamborghini, Rolls Royce, and a $40 million art collection.
Monet.
And this is the person. Jay-Z, I think Jay-Z's about to be cooked, y'all.
This is Renoir.
I don't know if I've ever met anyone this wealthy, so eager to show off his lifestyle. Often posting about it on social media.
Because it's not like, hey, look.
And even worse than all of this, I want to know how the hell did Jay-Z get caught on audio tape impersonating Texas officials? Was he like, yo, it's the judge? Like, bro, that shit's not going to work, Jay-Z. You're going to get caught, bro. Anyone can tell your voice from a million miles away, bro. This nigga deserves to be, bro, I swear, I want to do anything. I'll pay anything in the world to hear audio tapes of Jay-Z trying to sound like a judge to tamper with witness. Yo, I heard. It's becoming a clown show.
I'm better than you. That's certainly not
So
my
what's
intent.
your intent?
My intent is like, guys, look how awesome life is for us.
He doesn't understand it, but that's also flexing. I'm sorry. You're showing off. It is what it is. Niggers do it all the time. I'm sorry, niggas. Sound like I said something else. But we do it all the time, so it's flexing. It's whatever. But you're definitely a flexer. It is what it is.
Look what we can accomplish. Look at this guy. Because for me, I'm still the cafeteria worker's boy.
You're a long way from that.
But that's how I still feel.
Now the guy who says he has more money than he can spend wants to be mayor of Houston, which means he'll be scrutinized over things he'd like to forget, like a DWI arrest in 2016, even though the charges were dismissed.
Why were you pulled over?
Asked the cop that pulled me over.
Had you been drinking?
I'd been drinking. Yeah, I'd been drinking. I drink with 2 fists. I punch with 2 fists. I hug with 2 fists.
But you weren't drunk?
No. Yeah. That's why it got dismissed.
It's obvious Busby has a bit of a chip on his shoulder. We will see if he can master politics as well as he masters a courtroom.
He couldn't. He lost. But that's neither that's neither here nor there. Please like, comment, subscribe. We don't have to make this longer than it has to be. And click the notification bell if you would like to see more of me. This is my second time having to shoot this in a row. Hopefully when I click stop on this, it'll actually save to where I need it to, and you guys will be watching this video. If not, this will be completely deleted, and no one will have any proof that I even said any of this until my third take. So hopefully this is the second and last take. If not, I'm going to do this again on number 3.